Okay, you know what? Here is the dealio. Heyo! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, possibly even good night. So we just made this video, just dropped it on the channel. It's happening. XRP's taken off, 20% up. The crypto market's up. It's on a run. People are still asking if crypto's a scam. A lot of my videos are really kind of hyper sensationalized and theatrical. That's because that's what I enjoy. But that doesn't take away from how real I think all this information is. If it's too much for you, too bad. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna change it. I noticed it's hard and difficult for some of you guys, but some of you guys like it. So we're gonna do our best to find that balance. Anyway, so here we go. That's right. Roll the intro. And we gotta do it. Let's roll this thing.
I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a fiduciary, and I'm not offering financial advice. I'm looking at information and reviewing it with you. Also, before we
Get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click that like button to show support to our channel.
And click that bell to get notifications for whenever I post videos next.
So we have, did you guys know? I'm sure you guys, most of you guys do. Ripple's CTO, David Schwartz, David Schwartz, invented a distributed computer system 20 years before blockchain. That's right. So, who is David Schwartz?
Arthur, King of the Britons. Oh, don't grovel. One thing I can't stand, it's people groveling.
The mystery continues. Is he really someone that we should be paying more attention to? Is he part of what was maybe like the original team of Satoshi Nakamoto? If Satoshi Nakamoto was a team of people, could David Schwartz have been with that team? Could he be part of that team?
This is incredibly important. And I think on the last front is decentralization, which I love this quote from Ethan McBrow, because there's always
It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure.
danger of like when you do something that improves something to like, well, it was terrible before. It's hard to like make that.
Before there was Satoshi Nakamoto, there was a David Schwartz. And this is very real. Very real. No jokes. No jokes. So the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto is often credited with inventing blockchain, the tech behind the recent cryptocurrency and decentralization boom. But long before Nakamoto published his seminal paper that shaped Bitcoin as we know it, Ripple's chief technology officer David Schwartz had already come up with a similar concept. Almost 30 years ago, August 25th, 1988, Schwartz filed a patent for a multi-level distributed computer system that would preferably run on personal computers. The technology was designed to leverage the combined processing power of numerous devices to accomplish singular tasks. Interesting, 3 years later, Schwartz was eventually granted the patent, while the undertaking ultimately didn't pan out. We spoke with Ripple CTO about what his vision for the distributed system entailed and how it overlaps with today's blockchain tech. One of the main problems, Schwartz says, whose background is in cryptography, was trying to solve was how to distribute computing intensive tasks that would have been otherwise impossible to process by a single machine to a network of devices. A distributed computer system is a network of computers, each of which fundamentally independently of, but in a cooperative manner with each other. Versatility of a computer system can be increased by using a plurality of small computers, such as personal computers to perform simple tasks and a central computer for a longer, more complex task. The patent document reads, "Such an arrangement lessens the load on the control computer and reduces both volume and cost of data transmission." I was working on graphics rendering problems that require significant amounts of CPU power, Schwartz told Hardfork. This is how the idea for his invention was born, and ironically how it came to a halt.
Sorry, and don't apologize. Every time I try to talk to someone, it's sorry this and forgive me that and I'm not worthy.
CPUs improve in performance much more quickly than expected, and there didn't seem to be much need for distributed tasks dynamically to CPUs with the available processing power, Schwartz explained. But before this so-called distributed computer system got shelved, the cryptographer and his team were able to run some experiments on the technology. We had a working implementation that generated images of fractals, Schwartz revealed to Hardfork. You could add more CPUs to the cluster and workloads would dynamically distribute them. That said, Schwartz's system was far from perfect. For one, establishing a connection between various computers was more complicated back then than it is now. Another challenge had to do with breaking the intended task down to smaller portions that can be processed and transferred from one computer to the next. While the invention of the internet has mostly solved the interconnection issue, some of the issues Schwartz encountered back in the 1990s continue to persist today. Indeed, breaking down large network components into smaller portions is a challenge Ethereum is still trying to solve. As far as Schwartz's adventure into distributed computing from 30 years ago, he says the experience is still coming in handy in his work today. It does seem that the things I worked on in the past keep coming up in the things I'm working on now, Schwartz added. I think that's more just due to most of my work being in the same general area of distributed computing and cryptography. Now, this is pretty interesting to look at. David Schwartz, not only predating Satoshi Nakamoto, but possibly, I think, playing a role in the original Bitcoin creation. He again was with NSA doing cryptography years ago. He probably wouldn't be allowed to say. So if you're interested in Schwartz's previous or current work, next Tuesday, August 21st, we're hosting a TNW, we are not, they are, hosting a TNW answer session where David Schwartz will be answering any and all questions you might have. Drop your questions here and we'll put that link in the description. So what do you guys think about this David Schwartz being really on top of the distributed computing and cryptography game? What does that mean as far as the origin story of Bitcoin, the origin story of blockchain, and Satoshi Nakamoto? What do you think about the Satoshi Nakamoto being a project that is a group of people instead of one person, David Schwartz being one of them? I think these are interesting ideas to look at. Again, this article's only referencing that Ripple's CTO invented a distributed computer system 20 years before blockchain. I am theorizing that possibly we could be dealing with the OG Satoshi. What do you guys think? Give me some kind of feedback in the comments. What are you thinking about this? Is David Schwartz the OG Satoshi? Just between you and me. We won't tell anybody, but let me know.
Best friend!
Is Bitcoin a problem created so that XRP is a solution? Something interesting to look at. Thanks a bunch for tuning in. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, press that like button, give me a thumbs up, show your support. What do you guys think about this? As always, have a great day until I see you next time.
Brought to you by your team.